Hi guys, it's me again, and today we're going to be talking about what Vancouver neighborhoods are really like downtown Vancouver edition. So if you haven't seen my previous video, definitely go watch that. I talk about different neighborhoods in the city of Vancouver. Today we're going to be hyper focused on downtown Vancouver. There's just so much to do here and so many distinct neighborhoods within, so I thought it deserved its own video. Before we begin, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get into it. So I have my map in front of me. Let's start off by talking about the West End. So there's kind of two distinct parts of the West End. For some reason, there's a whole lot of debate about where each part of the West End cuts off. You know, what's considered West End, what's considered not West End. I, for one, don't really care. The West End is whatever you want it to be. So here, kind of in like this bottom, what is this? What are directions? Southwest chunk of the West End, you'll find all of the major beaches. We have like Sunset Beach, English Bay. So it's a very kind of beachy side of the West End. And then a major street within this part of the West End is Davie Street. Davie is known for being very LGBT friendly. You'll find a lot of like rainbows everywhere on the ground, on the walls. It's where Vancouver's Pride Festival is hosted every year. It's just a really great place, very accepting. If you are part of the LGBTQ+ community, then obviously this is a really great choice. I'm a little bit biased, but I think Davie has some of the best restaurants and bars. And then moving on over to like the other side of the West End, it's kind of like the north side. You have like more of the mountains on this side. You have the waterfront area. One major street here that I will point out is Robson Street, which just like Davie is a pretty bustling street. There are a lot of really good restaurants, especially like Asian food and Korean food in particular. The best. When it comes to choosing like which part of downtown to move to, I would definitely recommend the West End if you're looking for something a little bit more quiet but still within the city. Obviously this depends on like where you're living. If you're living right by Davie or Robson, it is going to be very busy, but there's actually a lot of apartments kind of further down. Basically, like the closer you get to Stanley Park, the quieter it gets. Like there are many neighborhoods kind of deep in the West End that are just so quiet. Like you wouldn't even think that you live in the downtown core, you know? If you were trying to find something a little bit more affordable, I think your best shot is in the West End because there's a lot of like older apartments there, so you can kind of find some relatively good deals. So yeah, this part of downtown, definitely a lot of greenery, very like neighborhood vibes, very chill. A lot of older apartments compared to places like Yaletown, which I guess let's talk about next. So here in this kind of east-south section of downtown Vancouver, you'll find Yaletown. Yaletown, or at least like the Yaletown that exists today, is known for being a little bit more bougie. You'll find a lot of expensive modern sky-rises here, a lot of expensive restaurants. So definitely if you're into the finer things in life, Yaletown is the place to be. If I am gonna make kind of a stereotype generalization about Yaletown, you will find kind of a lot more bougie people that live there, and that's just the reality of Yaletown having very expensive housing. It kind of gives off like LA vibes, I don't know. There's definitely a bunch of really nice cafes in Yaletown, as well as like ice cream shops. There's also a few really nice parks like David Lamb Park. So next up we kind of have this central part of downtown. I would just call it the center. This is where you'll find Granville Street. It's a pretty big shopping/nightclub district. There's Pacific Center here, which is kind of the major downtown mall. And then, yeah, there's like a bunch of shops along Granville Street. You can find a Winners, you can find a Brandy Melville, there's like Urban Outfitters. So it's definitely filled with a lot of like younger people. I definitely spent more time there when I was younger. There's a few concert venues there as well, and a bunch of nightclubs. I would say that Granville Street is kind of notoriously known for being like the strip, the nightclub strip. I definitely frequented Granville Street a lot more when I was like 19, 20, when I would go to nightclubs and stuff. Nowadays, not so much. All I can really say is, you know, there's a lot of nightclubs there. So, you know, typically a street with a bunch of nightclubs, it's going to be a little bit grimier. That's definitely kind of the noisiest part of downtown, especially on a Friday or Saturday night. If you're looking to party, if you're looking to have a bunch of drinks, then you can definitely go to Granville Street because you will find drinks there. And in terms of living there, there's definitely some apartments there, but I will say it's going to be a very noisy time. So if you do decide to move to Granville Street, props to you. I'm a very light sleeper, so I don't think I could do that. Next up, we have Waterfront, as well as like the Gastown area. Gastown is definitely a popular spot amongst tourists, and rightfully so. There's like a bunch of cobblestone streets. There's like the steam clock that for some reason everyone is super into. And then you have a bunch of really cute, really hip cafes along here. I think it's just super aesthetically pleasing. It's a great place to have photo shoots because it definitely has like a more historical look to it compared to the rest of downtown. But yeah, once again, a bunch of really good places to eat at, a lot of bars. Definitely gives off like classy, jazzy vibes, which I really like. In terms of living there, I think it's fine. It really depends because the kind of further along Gastown you get, you kind of start to hit like the downtown east side, which like in the previous video I mentioned, there is a big homelessness crisis there. So you will find more people kind of like on the street and stuff. So if you're comfortable with that and living in that kind of environment, then totally. But if it's something that you're not comfortable with, then, you know, maybe somewhere else. But I will say that like, if you choose to live downtown, be prepared for homelessness. It's just a part of living here. And be prepared for kind of like, I don't know, what you would expect from living downtown. You know, it's not going to be as clean cut as living in like a suburban neighborhood. It is downtown. So yeah, I think we pretty much went over all the different little sections that make up the island shape of downtown. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I have a whole lot of other Vancouver related videos on this channel, so be sure to check them out. I'll leave them in the description below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!